Hello, dear students. Welcome to this English literature class. And today I'm back here with the poem Nine Gold Medals written by David Roth. I will be discussing the question answers with you, and please mark the textual words which you're supposed to write in your answers. So here I go. Question number one. What do you know about the poem? Well, the poem Nine Gold Medals, written by David Roth, is a poem related to Special Olympics. In this poem, nine differently abled contestants are running for a 100-meter race. Right? Question number two. What is meant by Special Olympics? Well, Special Olympics is a global movement of people who want to improve the lives of the people with intellectual disabilities. So they are the people who have some or the other disability with them. And the Special Olympics are meant to work upon their skills, to cope up with their confidence, to develop social skills, and a sense of personal accomplishment. So that is why these games are held. They are also known as Paralympics these days. Right? Next, question number 3. What kind of a poem is it? Well, this poem is a lyric and it consists of 8 stanzas with 4 lines in each stanza, except the last stanza which has 5 lines in it. And there is no particular rhyme scheme for this poem. Next question. That deals, we will start with the RTCs, that is a reference to the context. What sort of event is mentioned in this poem? Is it a national or an international event? Well, the event mentioned is a sporting event known as the Special Olympics. Yes, it is an international event. Which line tells us? The very first line of the poem, the athletes had come from so many countries, tells us that it is an international event. Next question. Were the athletes well prepared for the event? Yes, the athletes were certainly well prepared for the event. The lines, many weeks and months in training, all building up to the games, tells us that they were well prepared. Next question. What does this line mean? All building up to the games. It means that the contestants for this Olympics, they were really practicing very hard in order to win the gold, the silver, and the bronze medal. Right? Next question. What was the atmosphere around? To bring out the textual sentences from the poem. Well, the atmosphere around was very positive and optimistic. The spectators had gathered in great number. They were cheering all the young women and men, again, the textual lines. Then the athletes were getting ready for the race to be run, and there was a lot of excitement and enthusiasm all around. Next question. Why is this event very special? This particular event mentioned in the poem. It is very special because it is a final event of the day and it is the last race which is going to take place. What is so special about it? Well, the special thing about it is that it is the final event, number one. Number two, it is the 100-meter race. And normally, the winner of the 100-meter race is regarded as the fastest runner in the world. So it was really special. That is a traditional way to determine who is the fastest of the all. The winner of the 100-meter race is always considered to be the fastest runner. Next question. What is the announcement made through the loudspeakers? Well, there were two announcements made by from the loudspeakers. Number one, that the race is going to take place very soon. That is, the race is about to begin. And number two, the names of the athletes or the contestants running in that race were spoken aloud. Next, how many athletes were there on the track? There were 9 athletes, 9 contestants. What do the expressions on their faces reveal? The textual word is determined and poised for the sound of the gun. Next question. What is meant by the sound of the gun? What does it signify? Well, the sound of the gun signifies the starting of the race. So the athletes are standing and they are desperately waiting for the sound of the gun or the explosion of the pistol so that they can start running and compete for the race. What does the word pistol exploded mean over here? The pistol exploded means that the athletes are able to hear the sound of the explosion of the pistol, which means that they have to start running from that point. Then there is a line in the poem. The signal was given, the pistol exploded, and so did the runners on hearing the sound. So, what does here this phrase mean? And so did the runners. Well, this phrase means that the runners started running immediately when they heard the sound of the gun. Next question. What happened to one of the athletes when the race started? Well, one of the athletes, that is the youngest of the one, stumbled, staggered, and fell on his knees to the ground. Remember to write all the 3 textual words: stumbled, staggered, and fell on his knees to the ground. Right? Then, next question. The line, he gave out a cry. Who is he in the above line? Well, the word he refers to the youngest of the athletes who fell down. How did the boy react? The textual words, on falling down, the boy gave out a cry of frustration and anguish. Remember to put the same words in the poem rather than describing in your own words. Next question. Why does he cry? Again, the answer is given in the very next line. He cried because all his dreams and efforts dashed in the dirt. What mood is he in now? Now he is in totally sad, dejected, disappointed because he feels that his dream to win the medal has vanished all of a sudden. His dreams are shattered. Next. Who is I in the line, but as sure as I am standing here telling the story? And what does this line mean? Well, I here refers to the poet or the narrator of the poem. We can use either of the words. The poet or the narrator of the poem. And this line means that he is giving his first-hand experience. He is very much present there, so we can believe that the poem, the story given in the poem is true. Next, what was a strange thing occurred at that very time? That is when the boy fell down. So what is the strange thing occurred? We have to give the textual words. When the boy fell down, the 8 other runners, they stopped in their tracks, number 1. They turned round, number 2. They came back to help him, number 3. and they lifted the lad to his feet. Number 4. These 4 textual phrases. Next, what is the contradiction in this attitude when the 8 contestants all return back? What is something unexpected? Well, something unexpected or the contradiction is that what the 8 contestants did at that time was not at all expected. Normally, when one of the runners falls down, the normal attitude of the rest of the runners is to speed up their race and win the medal. But in this case, all the 8 other athletes stopped on their tracks and came back to help him. That is something different. Next, what did the 9 runners do? So, in general, the 9 runners stopped in their tracks and came back, and remember to write all the 4 phrases which I discussed in the earlier question. What does the line, the 100 meters reduced to a walk, means? Well, this means that since the youngest of the boy was not able to run, all other 8 stopped in their tracks, returned to help him, and they all stood all together, took hand in hand, and started walking instead of running. Next, what was the banner mentioned above? And why is the phrase banner repeated in the stanza? Well, the banner above was Special Olympics. And why was the banner above repeated? The phrase banner above is repeated to emphasize on the word special because the action of the 9 athletes was very special. Rather, 8 athletes was very special to help the 9th one. Next. And the banner above and 9 smiling faces said more than these words ever will. What does it mean? Well, it means that the Special Olympics on the banner and the 9 smiling faces were enough to convey the true spirit of sportsmanship. Their true, real feelings came out that they were not having any feeling of being in the competition. In fact, they tried to help out of empathy. Next question. Who gave 9 gold medals? For any sporting event, there is one judgment committee who judges everything and it decides the sequence of the medals. So we assume that the judgment committee present over there must have decided to give the gold medals to all the 9 runners, looking at their unexpected gesture. It was a good sort of encouragement for others. Next, how would the 9 contestants have felt when they all reached the finishing line together? All the 9 contestants must have felt really very happy, contented, satisfied, united when they all reached hand in hand to the finish line. Which words tell us? The words 9 smiling faces in the last stanza tells us that they all must have been very happy on not only getting the medals but also by helping the youngest of the all. Then, next question. Which literary device is used in the last stanza of the poem? Or in other words, why are the lines repeated by the end of the poem? Said more than these words ever will. Well, which literary device is used? The literary device used is repetition. And why is the line repeated? The line is repeated to emphasize on the point that Special Olympics really turned out to be special because of the unexpected gesture of all the 8 contestants, how they stopped and helped the injured athlete. Right? Next question. What is the theme of the poem? Well, the theme of the poem, number one, is empathy. And what is empathy? Empathy is a feeling when we try to understand another person's experience from his or her point of view. That is the definition. In other words, when we try to um, imagine ourselves in that condition and we try to help that person, that is known as empathy. Number two, sportsmanship. This poem tells us the how to build up sportsmanship. That sporting events is not just for medals or competitions. It means to show and help others. Number three, celebration of human values. This poem teaches us the human values of care, compassion, cooperation, collaboration, and so on. Right? Next question. Point out some literary devices or the poetic devices from this poem. Well, not much, no similes or metaphors in this poem. Alliterations, yes. Alliterations are made into use in the line, but the youngest among them, he stumbled and staggered. Over here, the word stumbled and staggered, the sound of the consonant sound of the word S has been repeated again and again. Then in the line, his dreams and his efforts dashed in the dirt. In this line, the sound of the word D is repeated. Dreams dashed and dirt. So this is the alliteration. Otherwise, there is not much of the literary devices used in the poem. And last of the question, what is the message of the poem, or what is the central idea of the poem? Well, the message of the poem is that sporting or sports or games is not just the competition or winning of the medals. It is the overall emotional and mental help which we can contribute to our fellow competitors or athletes or contestants. Something of that sort we read in the story My Greatest Olympic Prize also, where even Jesse Owens concluded with this message only, that sportsmanship really matters a lot. Right? So I hope you must have revised the question answers along with me. And if you still have any doubt from the poem, do write me in the comment section and I will definitely answer you back. Bye bye for now.